Welcome to On the Same Page. I'm Casey Bond here with Brenna Butler,
Hi.
my partner in crime, and we are here to talk books with you. We're going to start out with the book we both read, The Devouring Grey.
This one's by Christine Lynn Herman, and we find ourselves in the eerie small town of Four Paths. And this town is founded by some people with some very magical kind of gifts, but those gifts are secret. We don't know right off the bat what kind of gifts they have.
One thing I liked about this book is how the author unfolds the world and the gifts and why the world is the way it is.
Yeah, you have kind of a newcomer that comes, and so you're learning about the town and the traditions and the history of the town, which is very crucial to the story. You're learning about that history along with her, so it's very organic.
And I love how it unfolds. It's the pace of the story is really unique. The story itself, the setting, I felt like was really unique. I've never read anything like it.
And it's funny you say that, because that's one of the things I found about it. When you read it, you just feel that creepiness, icky, dark.
It definitely has a very creepy vibe. Like the feel of the book is
kind of moody and
dark. The tone is dark, and it's very, I don't know, it's almost like it gives you shivers all the way through.
There's kind of four kids of the founders of the town, and it kind of revolves around them. Three of them put in their point of view in the story. I think one, I don't believe he ever has a point of view in the story. But you come into it thinking, well, these guys are all going to be friends and be the group that saves the day. And that is very much not the case. They all kind of have these hurt relationships between each other, and then of course you have this newcomer thrown in too, and trying to find her place.
And I feel like each of the four has a different power and a different function within the society and within the town, and you see how the differences between them affect them, how the relationships. I felt that was really genuine. You know, there are going to be hurt feelings and people who don't necessarily love one another in every little town, and these kids have grown up together, and they've grown up hard and fast, I feel like, because of the situation they're in.
And I think we can talk about the situation a little bit without getting into too many spoilers. Of course, they're in this small, eerie town that we talked about, and in the woods beyond the town, there's what's called the Grey, the Devouring Grey from the title, of course. And the Grey is just kind of this area of the woods. It's kind of a prison for the beast in the woods that they've imprisoned there. And so the Grey itself is very dangerous, let alone the beast inside.
Right, and they have to use their powers to keep the beast trapped in this gray world. And some of them keep getting like sucked into the world, and those who do get trapped in the Grey, they usually don't come out. So
one did though.
One of them did, but some of the actual just normal people don't. So it's like not a good place to be if you don't have the founder powers.
Very kind of, I wouldn't call it creepy exactly, but a dark, moody read.
Definitely.
If you're looking for a good book that way. And that's The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman.
Yes.
So Casey, we've got a lot of books on the counter.
Yes, we do.
We've got a lot more ebooks queued up on the computer. One of mine that I read this time was Wolf Hunter River by Rachel Caine, and this is one of my favorite authors of all time. This is actually the third book in her Stillhouse Lake series. It follows Gwen Proctor, who is the wife of a serial murderer. He was doing this all along, and she didn't know about it. And when he finally got caught and captured, there were many in the community that felt like she was in on it with him, because how could your wife not know what you were doing behind your back? So she's kind of, in the books, she's been on the run from him. He's kind of had his arms stretched out from prison after her, and she's been on the run from him. This third book kind of diverts from that, and not to give any spoilers, but one of the victim's mothers, who's also sure she was in on it too, comes for her, and she starts to film a documentary to prove that she's right and that Gwen was behind it. And a girl goes missing, and they're solving this mystery case amidst trying to ward off the cameras that are in their face for this documentary. So it's really cool.
That sounds amazing.
This is an adult thriller. Very good book. This is Wolf Hunter River. The first book in the series is Stillhouse Lake. The second one is Kilman Creek, and I'm sure there's going to be a fourth one after this.
I like Rachel Caine as well. you definitely, with the Glass Houses book,
Yeah,
you've got me
and we
hooked.
were talking about it's Morganville Vampire Series,
Yeah.
and we were talking about that last time, and we were trying to decide. I looked it up. There's actually 15 books
Wow.
in that Morganville Vampire
Yeah,
Series.
it's a neat world, and I just love things that are different. So if I love vampires. So if a vampire story has a different little twist to it, I love it, and she does it very well. Rachel Kane is
yeah.
an amazing author.
Very good.
So, I want to jump into Keeper of the Lost Cities. This is a middle grade book, but I'd say that anybody 10 and up could probably read it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is my daughter's favorite book series. She's raved about it online for months and months, and there's a huge fandom online for this. And if you like Harry Potter or Percy Jackson or any of those middle grade books that are geared toward teens but also toward adults, you're going to love this series. I read this in like a day and a half.
Oh my gosh! And that is a feat, because look how thick this sucker is.
And it wasn't like I was reading the whole time. We were in the car some. So, but it's so good. It follows Sophie Foster, who is a young lady, and she starts experiencing some strange things, and a mysterious young man shows up, and she learns that she's actually an elf. And
an elf? That's
yes,
a little different. Okay.
And they she's not supposed to be in the human world, and they've hidden her away, and also locked some very important information inside her mind. And so there are all these different facets trying to get to her to unlock the information that she is hiding. So it's very unusual. It's very action-packed. I loved it. I love that she's making friends. She feels like she's never really been at home in the human world, so she finds her people. Very angsty. There's some awesome folks, elves, who take her in once she enters this Foxfire Academy. So she's learning to basically catch up with her peers, and it's difficult for her, but she tackles it with tact and grace, and I just really thought a lot of this book. I can't wait to read the next book. It's called Exile, and if you're a fan of Shannon Messenger, the author, she's doing some read-alongs right now on Instagram. I think they may be getting ready to start Everblaze, the third book, but I'm gonna read Exile next. So
nice.
I really loved them. If like I said, if you like Potter or you like a lot of action and the world building is amazing, you're gonna love the characters. I can't say enough about it. I really enjoyed it.
Excellent. Excellent.
So
is it fantasy from a past time, or is it all contemporary?
it's contemporary. There's a lot going on. Sophie starts out in San Diego, where these mysterious fires are being set, and nobody knows how to put them out, and it's because they're of elven origin, and so it's a lot of mystery and intrigue, and I just love the book, so I highly recommend it.
Perfect. Well, there was a series that I fell in love with this time too, and it's called the Once Upon a Con series by Ashley Poston. And I actually read the first two books out of order. I didn't realize it was a series, but this series is kind of one of those where it's all the same world, but each book is a standalone, just some of the characters reoccur.
Right.
So perfect. The first one I read, which is actually book 2, is The Princess and the Fangirl. Can see it there.
I like that cover.
Gorgeous, yeah. And this actually is a hardback edition, and I wanted to point this out, which I thought was very cool, because that is the Starfield insignia, and that's the basis for these books. These books are, the setting is Excelsicon, which is kind of like a Comic Con, but it's for a TV show, made up TV show, of course, called Starfield. Starfield's kind of like a Star Trek-esque TV show. It was on a long time ago. It's a TV show, got a cult following, and they're just now making a movie about it. And so that's what the con is about, the convention's about. They come and talk about Starfield. And so these books are full of pop culture references. So if you liked Ready Player One or anything like that, you would love these books, as I do. Each one is a retelling. So The Princess and the Fangirl is a retelling of The Prince and the Pauper. I also read Geekerella, which is a retelling of Cinderella based in this world. Very cool. For instance, with Geekerella, and you see the cover of it there, the girl in that, Elle, she works in a food truck called the Magic Pumpkin.
Nice.
And Elle's father is the one that started this Excelsicon convention. And her father has since passed away. She's living with her evil stepmother and stepsisters. and they prevent her from going to Excelsior, but she sneaks through and competes in the cosplay competition to try to get to go to the ball.
Nice.
And in the process meets the prince of the new Starfield movie, which is the charming and handsome Darian. He's been a soap opera star, and he's been cast in this movie. It's his first big role.
Nice.
And so you see his struggle as well, trying to be taken seriously,
Right.
because this is a fandom he personally loves, but everybody just sees him as a soap opera actor that they brought in to be some eye candy
Right.
for the movie. So really fun twists throughout. I really recommend the series. That's Geekarella. Princess and the Fangirl is the Princess and the Pauper retelling. Sorry about that, retelling about a girl that goes to con, and she is an avid supporter of the Save Amara initiative. So Amara is the princess in the Starfield series, and at the end of the series, or at the end of the new blockbuster movie, they put her in jeopardy, and they think she might not be coming back. She might be gone, deceased. So she's in charge of the Save Amara initiative. She happens to look exactly like the lady Jessica Stone who plays Princess Amara in the movies. And so when the Jessica Stone, the actress in the movies, accidentally loses the script for the second movie at Excelsior, she switches places with Imogen, who is the girl in the Save Amara initiative, and they switch places so that Jessica can, unbeknownst to Imogen, can look for the script. And it's
nice.
so fun and quirky. These books have a lot of diversity in them, but it's just very fun adventures. And it's all these fairy tale retellings, but set at a Comic-Con of all
That's
things.
nice.
And
That's awesome.
so cool, and all the references, Doctor Who references, Lord of the Rings references, Star Trek, Star Wars, you name them, any kind of geeky fandom that we love, it mentions those in here, and you'll see those. So it's a really cool series.
That is awesome. I also read Hunt for the Skinwalker, which, if you think it sounds creepy, it's because it is. It's from
It sounds totally creepy.
Colm A. I'm probably going to butcher your name. Colm A. Kelleher, PhD, and George Knapp, who is a journalist. It is the strangest book. Supposedly, it is all true from interviews from the family that actually lived on this remote ranch in Utah, and neighbors, the local Indian tribe, and their lore come into it. The journalists who actually went there, the scientists who went there to try to explain what was going on. So there's a lot of like paranormal phenomenon happening at this Utah ranch. Apparently they've done some docudramas on the Travel Channel and Discovery and stuff about it as well. Strange like UFO-ish things, strange animals that show up, like wolves that come right up to you and nudge your hand and try to stick their heads in your car. Just really strange stuff, like
That is
animals
weird. Like, wait, what?
disappearing. There's a
Sticks
lot
your
of
head in
weird
their
stuff.
car.
Yeah,
What?
like big giant wolves. I don't know, but it's just strange. And I'm thinking that if I was, the people who bought the ranch, I would be like leaving on like day one. Be like, I'm putting this back
outta
up
here.
for sale. Where's the realtor? Because I'm not sticking around for this stuff. But anyway, it's really strange. The tribal legends are really unique. And they had spoken of some similar things. They had cave drawings with the similar occurrences. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. So
And that's a nonfiction.
it's
Unlike
a
a lot of what we
nonfiction
talk
book.
about, that's a
The
nonfiction
people
book.
walk into this house the first day they buy it, and there are deadbolts on every door in the house. Every door, bedrooms,
Oh,
bathrooms.
that is red
I'm
flag
like,
number one,
what
Mr.
has
Realtor.
happened?
I'm sorry, but
So a lot of weird things. So if you like things like that, if you like the paranormal or things on Discovery, it creeped me out. I'm a very
I've got
big
goosebumps
skeptic,
just
but I
talking about
I
it.
was creeped out by the book for sure.
Oh, gosh.
So
one of the other ones that I read was called Your Favorite Band Cannot Save You by Scott O'Moore. And this one came to me as a recommendation from Brody Reads and Stuff on Instagram. She's pretty right on with her recommendations, and she was with this one too. This one is, if you love music, you're going to love the way this one is written. It follows a music blogger which I didn't really realize that was a thing. I guess I should have known. But it follows a music blogger, and he comes across a song that just blows his mind, unbelievable. And he kind of does some digging, and he finds that this band, Beautiful Remorse, which is a cool name, coolest name ever for a band.
That is cool.
This band, Beautiful Remorse, is going to release these new songs, one track every day for 10 days.
Oh, wow.
So you follow him, and it's kind of real buried. He really digs this out and finds this, and he starts blogging about Beautiful Remorse. Well, as these songs come out, you start to realize something is off about the songs. People are losing time when they listen to them, and strange earthquakes are happening, and each song that comes out, the symptoms become worse and worse and worse.
Oh, wow.
And so he goes and tracks down the band, and then he figures out what's going on, and he almost can't believe it. And it's one that you don't see what's coming. I'm not even going to tell you. Yeah. I would call it a YA thriller, because if I put it in the genre it should be, it's going to be a major spoiler. Yeah. So this is a really cool book. Absolutely took me by surprise, completely unpredictable. The writing is very beautiful. When he talks, this music blogger talks about the music, just so beautifully written, and you can tell that somebody with a very deep passion for music wrote it.
Awesome.
Just beautifully written. Good YA, maybe adult YA thriller.
My next book is Rose Petal Graves. I think we have a graphic by Olivia Wildenstein. It may be Wildenstein. I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong, but check out the cover, number one.
Pretty.
That's why I looked at the blurb.
Cool.
And it hooked me. It is such a unique book. It's set in Michigan, in some places that I've been, so it's really neat to, kind of know where the things are set. But it follows a girl named Katori, and she comes home from she's going to school in Boston. She comes home because her mother's passed away. Well, her mother and father have run this mortuary for years, and they have this graveyard in their backyard, and her mother and her descendants are Native American. So they're the descendants of this tribe, and they've got these strange graves in their backyard that are protected by these rowan trees. And one of the graves had begun to cave in, so her mother had dug it up so that they could rebury it. And when she opened the lid of the casket, there was all these rose petals in it. And the person in it comes back to life and absorbs her mother, and absorbs her thoughts and her memories, and her mother's body dies, but her mother lives on in this person. It's really creepy.
Oh, yeah.
And
you've read a lot of creepy books.
I know,
this
right?
time.
It's so good. And so the person that comes back to life is one of the her elders, of the tribe's elders, and they're fae hunters. So there's this whole fairy world that opens up, and you realize there's portals everywhere. One of them is near Michigan, and they are the hunters of these fae creatures that they think are trying to hurt the humans.
Oh, wow.
So she wants to try to awake all her brethren who are also hunters. It's really creepy. It's so good. So if you like, it sort of blends the Celtic and fae lore with the Native American lore of Upper Michigan, and it's just beautiful. It's really unique. I loved it. So if you like, it's also got a romantic element. There are 4 books in the series. I highly recommend them. Cool. It's really good.
That's a cool one. What was the name of the series? Lost Clan?
The Lost Clan. I think it's just the Lost Clan
I think
series.
I think that's what it said. Okay. Well, Casey, I know you showed me a very gorgeous cover there, but you have to see the cover for Storm Cursed by Patricia Briggs. And I think we've got that graphic. Storm Cursed.
I love covers.
So oh
my goodness.
Yeah, if I wasn't already addicted to this series, I think that cover would really get me. This is one of the Mercy Thompson novels. This is actually number 11 in that series, so this is a long-running series, one that I've really come to adore over the years. Patricia Briggs is very good at writing werewolves, and this series kind of runs along that, although the person you see there on the cover is supposed to be Mercedes Thompson. Mercedes is a skinwalker, which is funny that you brought that up earlier, but she is a coyote.
Oh, nice.
So she shifts into coyote form and back. And she's actually a BMW mechanic, even though her name is Mercedes.
I love it.
And so she's very strong female lead. She, in the books prior, she marries the alpha of one of the largest werewolf packs, and so she's in that position as first lady, I guess, of the
Nice.
werewolves too.
Sounds like she can handle it
Yeah,
too.
oh, absolutely. This book, she really delves into witches, and that's something they've had a little bit before in the past in some of the books, but not much of. But you really get to see the witches in this universe.
Some of the images on the cover there, you can.
Yeah, the werewolves have just come out in this world, and humans kind of know their existence, and the fairies are about to come out. So she's negotiating a major meeting between the Grey Lords, who are in charge of the fairies, and the human politicians here on Earth, trying to negotiate a major meeting for them to talk about how this is going to be done, and the witches decide they want to interfere because they don't want to see that happen. Elizaveta is a witch that you've seen throughout the series. She's kind of the person they go to clean up for them, clean up some stuff, and whenever they need a spell or anything. So you get to see a lot more of Elizaveta's character in this, kind of hear a lot more of her history, and she's not that altruistic person that maybe the hero shouldn't be relying on, you find. So some secrets about Elizaveta revealed in this one. This is adult urban fantasy. Warning, it does include zombie goats. They have to round up some zombie goats in this one.
I love it.
Which is kind of a cool little thing. Casey and I both kind of adore goats.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a fun little thing to see in this one. And it kind of starts out with, they call Elizaveta, and stranger answers the phone and said, well, she's all tied up right now. So
Literally.
just another fun series, fun kind of werewolf series, adult urban fantasy.
That sounds like a great read.
Oh, yeah.
The whole series
Those are
sounds
fun.
good.
Those are fun.
Okay, I'm gonna go on to the Hazelwood. If you have never read this book,
Okay, is this going to be another creepy one?
It's
Because
a-
you've had, you might have your
little-
quota
it's a
creepy
little
ones
creepy.
today.
It's more fairy tale-ish.
Yeah, okay.
So this book is from Melissa Albert. It follows a young lady now named Alice Proserpine, and Alice's mother has kept her on the run since birth. They've lived
Okay.
out of their car, out of hotels. They're constantly moving. And you're like, why do you have this nomadic lifestyle? Well, mysteriously, a letter finds them at one of their hotels. And it says that Alice's grandmother has died. And but it warns them not to go to the Hazelwood, which is the grandmother, the grandmother calls her house is the Hazelwood. So
Not to go. So, of course,
it's
they're
really
going to go, right?
strange. No, but the mom gets
Oh.
kidnapped, and she thinks, I'm going to go look for her at the Hazelwood. It's the only place I know to look for
But
her.
I'm not supposed to go, yeah.
She and a friend set off on this adventure, and the grandmother had written this book of fairy tales, which was really dark and creepy. So there's your dark and creepy part. But
I
she,
knew it had to be
along
there.
the way, she starts seeing characters mentioned in the fairy tale book.
Because they're real.
Real.
No.
But it's really neat. The book, if you love like lyrical prose, this is like poetic. It's
I
beautifully
do. Some books
written.
have that cadence that you just
This is
adore.
one of them. It's just amazing. It's a beautifully written book. So if you like fairy tales that are set in modern day times, a lot of twists and turns in this book. At the end, I did not see coming. I thought it was great. I like to be surprised. So y'all know that.
Nice.
So I highly recommend the Hazelwood if you like those sorts of things.
Another book that I read was Even Tree Nymphs Get the Blues by Molly Harper. And I think we have a cover on screen for you to see. This one is an Audible exclusive. And I'm told that starting July 5th, it'll be part of the Audible Escape package. So if you're subscribed to that package, you can get it with that. Or right now, I think it's pretty cheap. It's $6.95 right now.
That's great.
Just to buy outright. It is adult paranormal romance, and it's part of the Mystic Bayou series that Molly Harper writes. And I love Molly Harper's mysteries. These are more romance ones. They've got some mystery involved. They're actually calling this one is a novella, so they're actually calling it 2.5 in the Mystic Bayou series. But these books center around a small town in the South, kind of in the swamps. The town happens to be near a rift of magical power. And so all these mythical creatures are drawn to it. The town sheriff is a dragon. The mayor is a werebear, big cuddly guy. But you have all these magical beings there, and the rift is actually starting to turn humans into magical beings as well, because of the power that comes from it. So each book is kind of the different romance story of two of the citizens of the town, and this one follows Ingrid, who's a newcomer to the town. Ingrid is a tree nymph. She has her own dairy cattle farm that she starts there in Mystic Bayou, and she runs the ice cream parlor.
That's awesome.
She's very secretive. She's learned to be that way over years because of people misleading her and cutting down her mystic trees. And she's very skeptical when she meets the League of Interspecies Cooperation's representative in the town, and he's kind of a researcher in the town that works for this organization, and she's very distrusting of him, and it's kind of their love story. So very fun, very short, fun read. Also recommend the other two books in the series.
That's awesome. That sounds good. I love it when books are set in a world, like a world, and you can keep
going with that same world. Yeah.
I wanted to mention my youngest daughter loves this book. It's called You Don't Want a Unicorn. And it's so much fun.
Here,
do you want to come up here, Iris?
Oh,
Are you
on.
sure? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just peek in.
It starts telling you when you make a wish, be careful what you wish for. And it's about all the crazy things unicorns can do, like drawing on your walls with their horns and throwing parties and farting rainbows. It's so much fun, isn't it, baby? And you like this book?
And she wore her unicorn shirt today.
She did wear a unicorn shirt. Good job. Thank you, baby.
Excellent, excellent. Well, for next time, we are going to read Roar. We've both actually read it, but it's been a little while ago.
Yeah.
And Cora
Carmack.
Yeah, Cora Carmack writes this book, and it's part of the Stormheart series. The second one in the series, Rage, is coming out in August. And so some of our followers online are doing a reread of Roar in July. And so we're going to be part of that.
I loved this book
I did
so
too.
much.
I did too. It's all about Roar, and she can control the weather, storms.
And the storms have hearts and personalities, and it's phenomenal.
They have different stones that tie to different kind of storms and that kind of thing. So it's a pretty cool series, very strong heroine, which we both love that kind of story. So I'm looking forward to rereading it. Yep. So we'll be doing that for next time. Anything else, Casey? I just finished High Noon, part of Casey's high stakes series. Oh my gosh, guys. I begged her today to give me High Treason, which will be the last one in the series coming out soon, but she's putting me on hold for now. But that's one to look for coming out.
Thank you.
We'll also be at Once Upon a Book coming up on July 19th.
In Frankenmuth, Michigan. And it's a day trip, you guys. It's fun. You can meet a ton of authors. We hope to see you. So.
All right. So that's all for On the Same Page today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.